everybody, this is David, the Timeless Runner, coming to you with another session of yoga for beginners, yoga for seniors, hey, yoga for you. So it is going to be a day where we focus on our lower back and our hips. And I'm going to start off in a mountain pose, where you put your 2 feet together, close your eyes, stand as straight up as you can, like a rope is tied to the top of your head and pulling you upwards. Breathe in through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. And breathe in. Breathe out. Always try and make your exhales twice as long as your inhales. Start by raising our hands up over our heads. And breathing in as we raise our arms. And exhaling as we lower them down with control. A variant on this is to bring our arms up over our heads. Bring the elbows together in front of us and expand our chest, pushing back to stretch out the chest, open up the airways. Again, start up, elbows together as we bring our arms down. Breathe in as we expand our chest, and then exhale. Turn to the side. Since we're going to focus on our hips and our lower back, first thing we're going to do is some gentle side stretches. So just put your hand on one hip and bend towards the hip that has the hand on it. Again, gentle stretches to start out with. And we're going to alternate the side to side for about 3 of these. The idea is to gently stretch out, and when we're up, get the blood flowing in all those tendons, ligaments, and muscles on the sides. And once we start with those side stretches, then we're going to go to some really easy rotations. So again, raise the hands up, twist the body. Just rotating at the hips as you do this. Again, we're focusing on the hip rotators, even though we're working the shoulders and twisting the upper body. Then want to get some flexibility going in the lower back, so we're going to put our hands up over our head. Grab our hands together, do a gentle back bend. Try and keep your arms straight out as you do this. You're going to feel a stretch in your hip flexors in the front of your quads. We'll bend over, interlocking our hands behind our back, pushing our shoulders up. You'll feel the stretch in the back of your legs, the back of your glutes. Extend your arms forward in a diver pose, like a swimmer on the starting blocks, ready to dive into the pool. Interlock your elbows, rock from side to side. Again, you'll feel the stretch in the back of the legs. And we'll repeat that one more time. And starting with a gentle back bend. Feeling the stretch in the front of our quads. Putting our hands behind our back, interlock the fingers, push our shoulders up and forward. Feel a stretch in the back of the legs. Go forward into that diver pose. And rock our hands from side to side. Come on back up. Another area that we want to focus on is the front of the quad. If the quad is tight, so then will be the corresponding muscles behind it. So we're going to get a cramp in our leg is what we're going to do. We're going to grab our ankle and then just lean forward against the wall or something as we gently pull back on the ankle to stretch that quad through its range of motion. Should always, when you do these types of stretches, always use the opposite arm to hold your ankle. Otherwise you can put some unnecessary strain on your knee, and we don't want to strain the knees. So again, lean against a chair or a wall. If you can do it without that, that's great. But I'm a little old and I can't. So, again, take it through the range of motion as you stretch those quads. Again, going back to the hip, we're going to place one foot in front of us, knee perpendicular to the ground. Just move that hip forward. You can rotate back and forth as you do it, gently stretching both the hip and the groin on the trailing leg. Here you can go into a warrior pose. This is a static stretch on the same area as opposed to a dynamic stretch that we did the first one. Reach up and over, again stretching the side of the hip, side of the body. And then you can go into a reverse stretch, stretching in the opposite direction. And what we do in yoga on one side, we always repeat on the other. So again, start with your feet in that warrior pose, where you've got your first front foot facing forward. Oops, your rear foot perpendicular to your body line. Just gently rock back and forth. For a dynamic stretch, dynamic means that you're moving the muscles as you stretch them. And go into the warrior pose for a static stretch. And this is going to isometrically stretch the muscle by isolating it. And stretch the side by leaning forward. And reverse it. You can hold these poses for 10 to 15 seconds each. That's about the max of the benefit. Put our legs back out to the side again. You know, let our body hang over the gap in our legs. Again, stretching that lower back out. Just let your body hang here. You can start to rock side to side, again for that dynamic stretching. You'll feel this in the glutes in particular. And just lean forward, put your fingertips on the ground, and again we're going to stretch up. By rotating our torso above our hips, we're stretching other muscles and engaging them. One of the most common issues that people have with lower back is actually caused by tight quads. Quads that are too tight will pull down in the front, causing pain in the back. So one of the best stretches there is for a quad muscle is to kneel on one knee. The other one is going to be perpendicular to the ground. You can raise your hands above your head as you lean back, and you're going to feel the stretch on the front of the quad of the knee that is on the ground. And to increase the stretch, you can put your hands behind your back and push away. Again, we want to hold these for 15 to 20 seconds. From here, we're going to let our trailing leg or our knee go back. Push out on that front leg with your elbow to increase the stretch. Again, you can raise your arm up to change the stretch on the hip and on the trailing leg. And go into a hamstring stretch from there. By just kicking your leg out, using some yoga blocks if you need, and I need. Just stretching out that hamstring. Again, what we do on the one side, we do on the other. So we're going to first begin by kneeling. You'll feel the stretch in your quad as you lean back. Put the hands behind the back. Push them away as you lean back to emphasize the stretch on the quad. Put your hands, kick your front leg out to the side, put your hands inside of them. Let your weight move forward. Again, you can twist up from there. And go into the hamstring stretch, the kneeling hamstring stretch. All of these muscles are what connect to your hip and your lower back. So oftentimes we think that a tight lower back has to do with the muscles in the back. Those muscles in the back are usually tight because they're doing work that they shouldn't be doing, because the other muscles are either weak or the other muscles are extremely tired. So if your quads in the front of your legs are all knotted up, you're going to cause the back to pull in directions it wasn't intended to do. Okay, a couple more things for the back. We've got the back bridges, reverse bridges. So you lay on your back, arms at your side, feet shoulder width apart. And we're going to raise the hips up off of the ground. This is going to build core strength. And again, if your core is weak, your back's going to be doing a lot of work that it should not be doing. So always try and do some core strength training as part of your exercise routines. You can do it any number of different ways. You can hold the back bridge as you squeeze your butt cheeks together to increase the effort that your core muscles have to do to hold you up there. There is a reverse bridge variation where you can just put your hands behind you and raise your hips up. For a greater range of motion. On the opposite side of that, there is the cobra poses and the sphinx pose. Cobra is where you lay on the mat, hands at your side, and raise your shoulders up. The idea here is to keep your hips on the ground. Use your core and back muscles to raise you up. From here you can put your elbows straight out. Lower your body down, go into the Sphinx pose. Again, try and keep your hips on the mat. Then you can move your hands back to your shoulder and do an exaggerated cobra. Again, these are reverse C bends. Your back is going to look like a backwards C as you do these. The cat and cow is one that everyone should know. That's where we're going to put our knees comfortable shoulder width distance apart. We're going to raise our back for cat. Then we're going to drop our stomach and pinch our shoulder blades together for cow. You can do as many of these as you like, but again, it's working on spinal flexibility as we go through those motions. And then we're going to go back to the way we started in that mountain pose and take some deep breaths to clear out the toxins that have built up. This has been a short session that is focused on your lower back. And it's been my experience that the lower back issues that I've had over my 70 years have all been caused by leg muscles that were way too tight, hip flexors that have been asked to do things that they shouldn't do, like compensating for muscle problems that I've had, pulled muscles, injuries, things of that nature. And we're going to relax our arms down to our side and take a couple of deep breaths in mountain pose. Again, quads are very important, hamstrings are very important when you're dealing with lower back pain, as well as core strength. So hopefully I've given you a few ideas today on things that you can do to alleviate that back pain, get a little more flexibility. Again, it's David, the Timeless Runner. If you like these videos, please click on subscribe. I typically do a video each day that is a time-lapse video on YouTube Shorts. Once a week or so I will do a narrated video because people have asked me to slow them down. So if you want a notification when the videos are first available, click on subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.